prompts one to kill, to take the life of a fellow human being. To many they have their reasons, some more disturbing than others. But regardless, you wouldn't expect a monster as such to be your next door neighbor. Yoshikage Kira, Morio's bizarrely explosive executioner. Tohru Adachi, the egocentric police dick. That's not a real title. Oh, what the hell? I make these and it's my job to go over their origin and skills to see who would win in this episode of The Debate Club. Ah, what a beautiful duong in the quiet town of Morio. But while it may seem like your ordinary town, there's a bizarre undertone. Eat at an Italian place and your body will be ripped apart before being put back together better than before. Get caught inside a cell tower and your body will turn to metal upon trying to leave. So on and so forth. These anomalies are thanks to one phenomena: stands. Stands are, in short, manifestations of one's soul, typically a reflection of the user's innermost persona. Those of strong wills will be given a stand, that stand by you, hence the name. This entail also grants the user with supernatural abilities, again, fitting the user. Enter Keicho Nijimura. He was stabbing random people with a stand arrow, hoping to awaken a stand that could kill his cursed father, hoping that a stand ability could do what normal conventions couldn't. But instead, he ended up just spreading stands around like a frat boy spreading STDs. Classy. This included giving a stand to one Yoshihiro Kira, whose last name literally translates to killer. Probably not the wisest decision there, Keicho. And since stands can also be passed down through bloodlines, this means Yoshihiro's son would also gain an ability, and his name is Yoshikage Kira. He is 33 years old. His house is in the northeast section of Morio, where all the villas are. He's not married. Wait, are you doing the whole thing? He works as an employee for the Kamiyu department stores, and when he gets home every day by 8 p.m. at the least, he doesn't smoke, but occasionally drinks. He is in bed by 11 p.m. Oh, you really are? Okay. And make sure he gets his 8 hours of sleep, no matter what, after having a glass of warm milk and doing about 20 minutes of stretching before going to bed. He usually has no problem sleeping until morning, just like a baby. He wakes up without any fatigue or stress in the morning, and thankfully he was told there was no issues in his last checkup. What I'm trying to say is that Kira wants to live a very quiet life, with no enemies. If I was a David Bowie lookalike, I would also find it hard to live a quiet life. Though it would all be a front, for in actuality, Kira is a serial killer. Early in his life, he looked at the Mona Lisa, and something within him awoke. I mean, I guess the Mona Lisa is quite beautiful. Actually, it wasn't her good looks or her warm smile that did it for him. It was something more handsy. At least it's not a foot fetish. Well, if he doesn't satiate his feelings, his fingernails grow. Aw, Jesus, dude. You know, most guys just pop a stiffy, but yeah, you do you. Regardless, Kira's appetite for the old monos left him with no other choice: killing. And with each kill, his twisted way of life began to get a heck of a lot more difficult to keep normal. Fortunately, fate bestowed upon him a stand that would allow him to live his life the way he wants. His stand, Killer Queen. You know the whole thing about stands being a personification of one's true self? I guess this makes Kira a cat furry. With just a touch, Killer Queen can turn anything into a bomb and make it explode. These explosions kill any regular people instantly, and immensely cripple stand users attempting to ruin Kira's peaceful life. Despite it seeming quite simple, Killer Queen is one of the most versatile stands in the series. While the explosions normally only affect one person or an object at a time, if you touch the object that has turned into a bomb, and then Kira activates Killer Queen, you'll explode alongside the object. While Kira was living his best life, his soon crossed path with a group of stand users known as the Morio Warriors, led by Josuke Higashikata, who were hot on his track. Luckily, Kira also has means of exploding you from a distance, with sheer heart attack. This substand is so durable, not even the stand Star Platinum can so much as dent it. And Star Platinum is a powerhouse, stronger than stands such as Stone Free, who can deflect meteors. And his speed could also be comparable to that of Hot Chili Peppers, who's as fast as lightning. He later adopted this weird plant cat thing. It would reside within Killer Queen, and it has the ability to create near indestructible air pockets, whose size can alter from as big as your face, or small enough to go inside your blood vessels. This cat plant was later dubbed Stray Cat, and Kira infused his own bombs into it for long range and stealth kills. But try as he might, Kira would eventually be found out. So in a 3000 IQ play, he took advantage of another stand named Cinderella and pulled a Nick Cage to face off with Kosaku Kawajiri. And thank God they coincidentally had the same height, weight, similar voice, and handwriting. It's almost as if fate itself was on his side. How bizarre. But as it turns out, Kosaku had a wife and child. But in another ironic twist of fate, Kosaku wasn't exactly the best dad, so instead of being a home wrecker, Kira ended up being a home fixer. How bizarre. However, the son Hayato knew something was up. While Kira had the quiet life he so desired, he couldn't shake his desire for murder. So he ended up relapsing and killing 2 people who annoyed him in a train. However, Hayato was able to suss out his imposter dad and recorded everything. So when Kira tried to confront his son about it, in a fit of rage, he killed Hayato. And with no other way of getting out of this, it finally seemed that fate was against him, and he was finally going to be caught. However, fate had other plans, and this time he was stabbed by the stand arrow again, bestowing upon him the solution to his problems. Bites the dust. Alright, this stand is a bit of a doozy, so bear with us here. Essentially, upon activation, Bites the Dust will rewind time, Groundhog Day style, with only Kira and the target of Bites the Dust remembering the initial rewind. But then if a specific circumstance falls upon someone, they'll just explode. No defenses, no counters, nothing. In this case, anyone who asks Hayato about the killings will fall victim. Then time will rewind with only Bites the Dust's victim, in this case Hayato, will remember every subsequential time rewind. And while stand users could try to fight against it, Bites the Dust just straight up ignores all that. Once you've been hit, it's game over. Got all that? Don't worry, I don't either. After exploding nearly all of Morio's warriors, Hayato had been completely traumatized, defeated. Seemingly, Kira had won. But it was through Hayato that Kira's loop was figured out, and through trial and error, a lot of trial and error, Hayato managed to break free the chains of fate and finally expose Kira for who he truly was. With fate finally catching up to him, he would go on a full mental breakdown as the entire town pulled up, and after getting his ass beaten, he attempted one last escape. Sadly, he fell victim to his own vice, giving the others enough time to fully close the gap and send his ass to a one-way ticket to his own face-off. Huh? Oh, and then he was grabbed and dragged by hell by hand ghosts. How fitting. The reason for his killings was the very thing to end him. He then later became a bounty hunting ghost with no memories. And when the universe got reset, he was reincarnated into the same body as Josuke, who was a sailor in this universe with a bubble stand that killed the raw incarnation of bad luck. This series is weird. Don't you mean bizarre? Ow! While he may not be a 100-year-old vampire, the personification of evolution, a bipolar mafia boss, or a universe-ending priest, few killers were as cold, sadistic, a blight on mankind as Yoshikage Kira. Welcome to the fairly average and mundane town of Inaba, famous for having the most below average everything. Below average school, below average stores, below average housing, yeah, you get the point. Including below average police officers, cause you'd struggle to find a more disappointing detective than Tohru Adachi. Adachi was your average victim of strict parenting. Hell, he only ever enrolled to be a police officer for the sake of carrying a gun. He's a nihilist, and just an overall nobody. Hell, he only ever became an assistant officer due to an error. While the chief Ryotaro Dojima did treat him well, it wasn't out of high regards. And since Adachi didn't make much of a salary, he mostly ate boiled cabbages for dinner. Obviously, Adachi was miserable and bored out of his freaking mind. But one day, after meeting the, and I quote, master of the collective unconsciousness, disguised as a gas station manager, cause that makes sense. Hey, hold on, let's be real. Road trips would be hell without their mysterious knowledge of all things direction. And directions Adachi gained, as he was given the ability to hop to the TV world. After that, he was given one job, protecting this girl named Yamano. But she kinda pissed him off, and during midnight, he shoved her into the TV world by accident. And a few days later, her corpse showed up in the real world. Primo job there, detective. Naturally, Adachi kept his mouth shut, and after being rejected by a girl he was interrogating about the murder, he did the same thing. This was Saki, high school girl students. That's all sorts of messed up that I don't want to talk about anymore, so we're moving on. This was the tipping point. Adachi began killing more and more girls who rejected him, including a copycat killer. He even managed to trick this guy, Namatame, into pushing notable people into the TV realm for safety, which obviously didn't work. At this point, Adachi snapped, and when Namatame was found out, he led the breadcrumb trail for a group of goofy misfit teenagers known as the investigation team to figure out that he was the killer. And once confronted in the TV realm, he revealed all of his involvements in the most apathetic way possible. But even this was an illusion. Okay, I'm sure you're all confused, so let me explain it a bit more. Essentially, the TV realm is known as the Midnight Channel, and within this channel exists a fog where shadows run rampant. Essentially, shadows are monsters born from humanity, and which is the reason why living people enter the TV realm and exit as not-so-living people, since most people can't do anything to fight against them. Luckily for Adachi, in the Midnight Channel he gained access to his persona, which had been locked away ever since he entered Inaba, Magatsu Izanagi. The same kind of persona the leader of the investigation team, Yu Narakami, had. Ironic, since Adachi was actually a family friend of Yu's. As the investigation team drawed near, Adachi was completely done with their bull. He treated his murders like a game, and now wanted nothing more than to end the world. He revealed that Izanami, the master unconscious dude, was going to create a rift between the Midnight Channel and the real world, causing the entire planet to be covered in a deep, thick fog for shadows to run rampant. You and the investigation team later managed to beat Izanami, which is crazy impressive. In order to form that big of a fog like Izanami did, would require energies over a gigaton of TNT, and Adachi was able to pretty handily match that level of power. This come equipped with the crazy abilities packaged in every persona. Mazodyne is a powerful electric spell, while Magorudyne harnesses wind. He has Heat Razor to boost his stats, Dekaja and Dekunda to remove opponents' buffs and personal debuffs respectively. Vaporal Wave is a powerful physical attack, while Foolish Whisper has a 30% chance to make any foes silent, which can prevent the target from using spells. But Adachi's main status is Fear. Evil Smile has a 30% chance to cause fear on its own, but Atom Smasher, no, not that one, both hits multiple targets and can inflict fear, coupled with Power Charge to increase his physical attacks by 250%. Making it a deadly move, especially since his ghastly whale move can instantly kill anyone afraid of him. Or if he feels like being boring, he can just use Madoon, which has a 60% chance to instantly kill anyone. With all of his powers and skills, it's no wonder he was such a challenge for Yu and his buddies. Hell, Yu on his own is able to fight against Joker from the Phantom Thieves. Hey, I remember him, who is able to be massively faster than light. Adachi was quite the challenge for the investigation team. However, through the power of friendship, anime, and just straight up beating his ass, Adachi would be defeated. And then he got possessed by this guy, Ameno Sagiri, where it would be revealed that Ameno was actually manipulating Adachi from the inside, and he was to blame for most of this. Oh, okay, so Adachi was just a victim of circumstances then, right? No, he actually still committed those murders on his own volition. Oh. In some way it's kinda good. I mean, we have too many morally gray villains nowadays. Sometimes you need some actual scum to mix the pot up a bit. It adds a bit of flavor to it. Sure, buddy. Sure. Upon Ameno's defeat, Adachi was at his most vulnerable, but the investigation team surprisingly spared his life. Shocked by this, Adachi willingly followed them out of the Midnight Channel, where he was met with Dojima, who, despite everything he did, still cared for Adachi. After recovering, he confessed his crimes and will spend the rest of his days rotting in jail, separated and shunned by the world he found boring and useless. Fitting for someone who lived his life uncaring and uneventfully. In some universes, he resented you, but in this, he looked back at his life and realized how much of a fool he was. He thought you to be a dumbass, but he actually enjoyed his time spent with the twerp. Thank you, Golden, by the way, for the added social link. Maybe if he wasn't so blindsided by rage, he would have been a good police officer. If only he was more like you. A fool or a jester. Either way, Adachi is locked away. He never cared, he never tried, and in the end, that was the truth he deserved all along. Alright, it's time. Both combatants are ready, and it is time to put the debate to rest. Man, can't believe they transferred me again. Right when things are starting to get interesting there.
Big fan of the song Killer Queen.
Huh? Huh? Hold it! Detective Tohru Adachi. If you value your life, you're gonna tell me why I smell gunpowder.
Oh? You're no one special. Just some 2-bit detective. It looks like I'll be sleeping soundly tonight. He reacted to Killer Queen. He might have a stand. I need to take him out quickly.
2-bit! I'll show you, 2-bit, you bastard!
Hee-haw! Nice to meet you!
I don't know how you use the persona outside the Midnight Channel, but now that the playing field's even, we can finally let the game begin!
My name is Yoshikage Kira. I'm 33 years old and my favorite color is pink. Straight to the point then. I have never lost a fight, and I don't intend to start with you, detective. Killer Queen has already touched you.
Freaky ass.
Killer Queen!
You're pissing me off!
This is over.
Oh, shit.
No! How can this be? Why won't you die?
You tell me.
Damn it! Damn you to hell! And clean your goddamn hand! Your hands are completely filthy!
Don't get mad at me just because you're losing.
You did
Fool.
Oh, 2-bit detective. If I'm the fool, then you're the jester.
Pain in the ass! There he is. Oh. Hey, little buddy. You mind telling me where Kira is? There you are!
Bite the dust activated! I win!
Can't believe they transferred me again. Right when things are starting to get interesting there.
Ooh, big fan of the song Killer Queen. Freddie Mercury.
Without Killer Queen, I have to be sure I'm not caught. 3 minutes. That's how long I have to wait until the man is dead for sure. As for you, I'll make sure you're useful if things go wrong. I'll attach Killer Queen onto her.
Anytime, huh? What do we have here?
Two minutes remaining.
Hey, I know you're hiding there.
Just 1 more minute.
Help me! There's a sick killer out there! He killed that man over there and strangled that woman over there! Thank God you got here in time! You might be able to save her!
Is that right?
Yes! Look, all the proof is here! Quickly, you have to find the killer!
Oh, I see. Just one more thing. Who the hell said I was a detective? I don't got a badge on me. To many, I look like a regular nobody. They wouldn't be wrong, though.
Wait, just 30 seconds left. Hold out till then.
Oh, just my luck. I get a murder case, and I gotta take out the trash.
Wait! You're supposed to take me in! Cuff me!
You say the dumbest things, you know that?
Killer!
Oh, that looks serious. Let's get you treated.
Good morning, this is DC News. A man by the name of Kosaku Kawajiri was fatally hit by an incoming ambulance during a chase with Detective Tohru Adachi, with Adachi claiming the suspect was no other than Yoshikage Kira, the notorious serial killer of Morio. Adachi fired the suspect before the suspect ran into the road. That's where he was struck. No witnesses were at the scene. Some are calling Adachi a hero for finding the killer. Others are calling into question the authenticity.
I'll watch that later. Let this be a lesson, kids. Look both ways before crossing the street. This fight was fairly clear-cut. I mean, it's not rocket science, but there was definitely some questions that needed to be answered. So let's figure them out. Starting with strength and durability. While Killer Queen could be compared to other stands such as Stone Free and Star Platinum, that would net him some high results. However, said results would pale in comparison to Adachi scaling to the fog that covered the earth. That's a 1,000,000 times larger increase at bare minimum. And honestly, considering how crazy Persona gets as a series, this is honestly a low ball. But power isn't everything, so let's go on to speed. Giving Kira some heavy leeway, he could theoretically reach faster than light speeds. But Adachi can far more reliably take on people who can keep up with said speeds and even much faster. Another point for Adachi. Lastly, his abilities. Some may believe that Kira could realistically one-shot Adachi via turning him into a bomb. But this wouldn't be farther from the truth, since lesser-known characters such as Shigechi could directly tank in explosions. Hell, he took 2 before fully disintegrating. Against someone much more stronger and durable than him, Killer Queen's ability wouldn't instantly kill him in one go. Even if it did and Kira somehow magically touched Adachi with Killer Queen, Adachi could just remove the effect with the Kunda. Hell, Adachi has far more reliable instant kill options, so at base, Kira wouldn't be able to win the Hacks game regardless. Okay, but here's the big question. Could Adachi deal with Bites the Dust? Well, on base, no. Wait, what? Yeah, Bites the Dust weaponizes fate against you to guarantee your own death. If successfully activated, it would certainly end the fight immediately, on paper. Problem is that Bites the Dust is really difficult to properly activate. Even if he did, there's the possibility Adachi could just figure it out and break out of it. I mean, he was able to figure out the mysteries of the Midnight Channel, so it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Plus, Adachi has spells that can just shut off personas. Equalizing personas with stands would mean that Adachi can just deactivate Bites the Dust. Okay, but let's go into a hypothetical scenario. No powers and equal stats. Shockingly, Adachi would still win. Yeah, he's a bit of a dweeb and far from the most skilled guy on the planet, but he does technically have police training, whereas Kira regularly loses direct fights. Kira's intellect comes more from his genius escapes rather than his fighting skill, and he's overall not a fighter. Kira was a crafty opponent and could win in under very specific scenarios, but Adachi's wider array of abilities, police training, and physical superiority won out in the end. You'd have to be a complete fool to find this result bizarre. Yoshikage truly found out who the real Kira is. The winner is Tohru Adachi.
Yeah, friendship, teamwork, blah blah blah. I still won. Results beat idealism.